It's prepping. So we'll be quiet until we know for sure.
I feel like my shirt crooked.
Hey y'all,
Are we live?
we are.
We are live. What are y'all doing?
How's it going?
Craig,
Yeah.
the R word hit the
Oh yeah. Thank you very
yeah.
much.
I got you. Listen, I told you, Craig, that I got you. When it is a Dez production, we all good, no matter what. No matter
There we
what, we
go.
all good.
So, hello
Hey,
everybody. 15 minutes of murder, folks. We're gonna give it a few minutes to see if some people chime in, sign in to check us out tonight as we talk about 15 minutes of murder, what we're up to, some things going on in the world today. We're just gonna kick it and have some fun tonight.
yes, we're gonna go on a field trip, y'all. A 15 minutes of murder field trip, right, Craig?
That's right.
That's right. What you doing? You talking to T?
I'm trying to see if she's there and making sure. Uh,
Y'all notice T not here, right? T is on bed rest. She's recuperating. She is going to be, is she up to being our moderator tonight, Craig?
I think she said she's gonna be in the chat room for a little bit tonight.
Okay. So what that means is that they will have us to listen to us run our big mouths, and then
Yeah.
they can talk to T directly in the little chat room, right?
Yeah, I'll be monitoring in case she needs to step away, but Tanisha hopefully is out there and watching, and we of course encourage everyone to drop some questions in, some comments in, send us a joke.
But how dope is that you have like 15 minutes of murder in two places at the same time? See?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You get more bang for your buck this way. So what we got tonight, Craig? You want to set up our field trip?
Sure.
Or do we
Um,
want to talk or do we want you to talk about your Oscars? Because I know that.
about the Oscars movies. I haven't done much in the way of like movie watching this week. You know, I went to Screen Unseen this
Mhm,
week. Um, saw a preview for a movie that's coming out,
mhm.
a Gore Zabinski film. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's really long, but it was super funny. I'll look it up so I can tell you guys
Yeah.
before we get off tonight.
I was
Um,
looking at the list of nominees because I'm not like you. I don't spend a whole lot of time watching movies. I think of the movies that are nominated. I may have only seen like three or four of them, but I
mhm.
was so geeked up when I saw Utopia was nominated. I don't remember what it was nominated for. Maybe best animation or something.
Oh, Zootopia 2?
Yes, you didn't know that, Craig?
I didn't know. I saw it, and it was great. I had such a good time watching that film.
Yes, yeah,
But I
yeah.
haven't, I don't think I've even looked at the list this week.
Well, we could say that for T because T as a TV person, she might have a whole lot to say about that too. So we'll
Yeah.
say that for next week for T.
Yep. And so obviously this week we don't have a new case. We are working on a new case that we will have maybe ready by this Sunday. We'll let you know via social media.
Mm,
We have a couple actually really good cases that are coming up.
yes.
So
Yeah.
we've been hard at work. We've been trying out some new things. We had Des do a little thing this week, last Sunday, where you talked about um, being a private investigator and what are some things that you do that people don't
Mm-hmm.
think that you probably
Mm-hmm.
do,
Mm-hmm. Just
which
some
was,
things that make my job easier for me. I don't know how nobody else want to go about their job, but I like to work easy and light, not hard and difficult. And so, getting to know someone, that's the least we can do, right, Craig? Who are you? What do you like? What are your favorite colors? What's your favorite car?
well,
What
yeah,
was
I
your
mean,
favorite movie? Did you see any of these Oscar nominated movies? Like anything that we could break the ice would just make my job a whole lot easier. And that's just the way I like to go. And not only that, it's the human being thing to do, especially if I'm going sitting in somebody's house, Craig, and wanting them to tell me all of their vulnerabilities, all of their deep dark secrets, what has happened to them, tell me all this backstory, so now you are triggered and re-triggered and trigger some more. The least I can do is know who they are as a human being. That's the very minimum.
yeah, because you're probably, chances are, going to visit some really dark places with them.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one of the things that I didn't mention in that clip is that one of the first things that I do when I am interviewing someone, Craig, is ask them to spell their name for me. I don't care what their name is. I begin with, let's start from the tip top. Spell your first and last name. And what that kind of does is that gives them a moment to kind of breathe in and breathe out and relax. And from the jump, they know, okay, this is somebody who at least cares about my name. And it just kind of, sets reset. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
all that was, y'all.
hmm it's a really interesting watch. I think it's what, maybe like 7, 8, 9 minutes. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we have a follow-up, right? We have a second part to it
We
that we'll
do.
post. We'll post
Mm-hmm.
soon.
Yep.
Tanisha is in the chat and she asked, is Screen Unseen nationwide? I mentioned Screen Unseen when we were talking about movies a
I
minute
don't know what.
ago. It's a thing that they do at AMC Theater where they show a preview of a film. And but
Mm,
when you go to see the movie, you don't know what the movie's going to be. You literally buy a ticket, go in, sit down, and surprise, you get to see an
mm.
advanced screening of a film.
And you
And
trust that, Craig?
I do because there's ways to sort of predict kind of what they're going to show.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that film I mentioned to you that I couldn't remember the name of. It's sorry, the Gore Zabinski, and I may be saying his name wrong.
Okay.
Film that's coming out. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. And it was a hoot. It was hilarious and really good.
See that? Well, I will call it my almost type A, but I think people who know me will say that I am all the way big time type A.
hmm
But I think my almost type A would never allow such a thing, Greg.
To go see a movie that you don't know what it's going to be.
Oh no. No way, Jose. No. It ain't in me.
Yeah.
That that's
Well,
that's that's relinquishing too much control and too much power and mm-mm.
I think it's exciting and I love film and movies, so they
You
they
do.
do yeah, they yes, I do. They list before you go see the movie, they list how long it is, what the rating is, so you can do your research and kind of figure out what they're probably going to be showing. So it's not a full risk, but there is a bit of a risk.
Enough of a risk. I don't play the lottery. So there you go. You play the lottery, Greg? You probably do. Do you
No,
play
I
lottery? Okay.
don't. Mm-mm. And
See,
if I
that's lottery
gamble,
kind
like what when I go to Vegas, I won't spend more than a dime or a nickel.
of okay. At the grandma slots.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I know, because that's where I be at the grandma slots, right over
Yeah.
there where the free fountain drinks are. Because I feel once I have spent my $1.50, now you have to give me free drinks until I have feel like I've gotten my $1.50 worth on my granny slots.
Yeah, free soda all night long.
All night, you owe me. You owe me that. So
Um,
what's our field trip?
so
Where we finna go?
Tanisha says I stay gambling. So tonight, we're gonna have fun tonight, or at least try to have some fun tonight, and do what we've kind of been doing with our Wednesday Night Lives, which is um, sort of take a look at like current pop culture and relate it back to 15 Minutes of Murder in some way. And I think we're probably going to do that in one of my most favorite ways tonight, at least one of my most favorite television shows that we're going to talk about tonight, which is The Traitors. Like I've been for like the last year obsessed with the show. I watch
All in our chats. All in
yeah.
our chat. It is so funny, Craig,
Yeah.
because when I log into whatever it is on the streaming, when you turn on the television, and
Hmm.
it's always there, right? So I had seen the name, but you hype it up so much that one day I sat and went through our chat group and just
Hmm.
searched the word traders, and it's in there like a gazillion times, thanks to you, Greg.
Well, I mean, obviously I watched the US version, but I also watched the UK version, the Ireland version, the Australian versions when they were out, the Canadian versions. They did, I'm trying to think of all the other English speaking versions they've done,
Mm.
but I watch it like crazy. So,
Well, you got me watching like crazy too.
so that leads us to tonight because we're currently in season 4 of the US version. I
Mm-hmm.
think we're 5 or 6 episodes in, and I was like, wouldn't it be fun if we took a look at the traders, both the faithfuls and the traders, and sort of try to put an eye, a private investigator eye on walking into a show like this, what Des might do in order to try to figure out who the traders are, or in the reverse of that, maybe as a trader, figure out how to trick the faithfuls into not figuring out who they are. And I know you're watching season 2 right now, so
Season
um,
2.
how can we kickstart this conversation to take that view of this?
Okay, well, let me just go. So, how the first thing that I thought of, because season 2, and I think like on our last live is when I agreed to watch it, and we even went into like how y'all got to put me together a casting tape so I can get on this show. So I
Yes.
started with season 2 because y'all name dropped Phaedra, and I was like, let's start there. And the very first thing, Craig, I was like, why we ain't voting off Phaedra? Phaedra would have had to go. Phaedra would have had to go simply because in private investigations, prejudice is a gem. And the way she killed the game on what was she at Atlanta Housewives?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
she was
no,
on one of the housewives.
no, no, sir. She got to go. I don't trust her. She played too good. And Craig, she got the nerve to be a funeral director. Lady, listen, you know how to perform. She's an attorney and a funeral director.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know she was a funeral
Yes.
director. Okay.
So see, this is why you want to know who you talking to before you talking to them, because she knows how to perform. She knows how to grab people's attention in that courtroom, and she knows how to, oh, baby, it's okay. Here's a box of tissues. And in fact, we saw her doing that on, I think it was let me think, episode 2 of season 2, because Deontay Wilder, he's the heavyweight champion on there, he was having like an emotional breakdown because they voted off someone, I forget who, but the second person they voted off, he was just like, oh man, this is so difficult. I can't do this. And Phaedra was just there like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, if I don't get this girl off this TV show. But that's part of it. You want to know somebody. And if I would not have known that about Phaedra, then I would not have, what I'm saying, Craig, gauge that as she would have been the first person that I got rid of.
Hmm.
And
What
that's
else?
Rochelle too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she
what else about her like put you onto her as a traitor? Or maybe what was she doing to keep people off of her?
well, one of the thing, and again, and she said it, and I think the first episode is that her plan was to say enough but not too little. So she would say some stuff but not commit to it. So if three or four people are talking and they're like, oh, I don't like Craig always got on a different hat. Her plan would just to be like, mm-hmm, yeah. But she ain't the one saying nothing about your hat though, Craig. And so that level of not being committed to one place or another, that fence riding. That's why people, in our personal lives, we don't like fence strappers. And that's what she was doing.
I think, yeah, yeah, you're right. I think a lot of people on the show play that game.
Mm-hmm.
If you're too quiet, you look sus. If you're too
Mm-hmm.
loud and leading the charge,
Yep.
you either look sus or the traitors are going to vote you right out, you
They're
know?
going to vote you right out.
Um, if you're causing too much trouble, the traitors might vote you out. But at the end of the day, everybody's trying to win that cash
Mhm.
prize pot too. So,
Yeah. I mean,
um,
and I just saw so much in this show that is applicable to what we do at 15 Minutes of Murder and what I do when I am doing Sunshine Investigations. And what we're talking about right now is like when I'm always saying, talk to me. I don't know everything, right? So that is me trying to be open and honest and vulnerable and garner in other people's ideas versus me just taking the charge and trying to get everybody to follow me. It's kind of, you know what I'm saying, along those same lines.
yeah, I mean, I think too, and we were speaking for a few minutes before we started the live tonight, and we were talking about how like herd mentality takes
Mm-hmm.
apart, especially early on when they're all sort of getting to know each other, get used to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you figure out who to vote out in the first round table?
How,
Because and it ends up being like the silliest thing, and everybody sort of votes the same, like herd mentality.
right.
And I think you compare that to a jury that may just not even want to be there. They just want to get out of
Mm,
there. So they vote
yes.
or they
Right.
convict somebody a certain way that might not be the correct way of
That
convicting
might
them.
not be the correct way. And that is exactly what happens because sometimes attorneys will hire me for the sole purpose of contacting jurors, not to harass them, but just to kind of figure out what was their process, what did they find that worked for either side, the prosecutor or the defense. And sometimes people get to telling me like they have real emotions, like breakdowns, because it's like, I didn't want to find him guilty. These people, it was the summertime, and these people were like, oh, I got a cruise that I'm going on, and I can't be here and mess around and miss my cruise. And then they kind of bully everyone to go in one way or the other. And unfortunately, sometimes that other is a conviction. So now someone is sitting in prison for a very long time, maybe even on death row, simply because somebody wanted to clock into a cruise, right?
Mm.
Um, or it may be, I didn't want to go that way, but the foreman was a publicist or majored in communication and they overspoke and talked over everybody. So we kind of just followed along with what they were saying. Like that herd mentality, that bullying really takes place. And we see that kind of on this show. And like I was telling you before we started, I immediately had a reaction to the show and it felt very real to me because this is some of the stuff that I experience. I experience people making decisions and tossing people away simply because other people in the room suggested that we do so.
Yeah, I think it happens not only at the round table, but also when the traitors go up into the tower
Hmm.
and they're going to vote somebody out. I think it similarly happens because each one of them has an agenda of why they want to vote out a certain person. Maybe that
Hmm.
person's putting too much pressure on them or
Hmm.
whatever the case may be. And sometimes they will vote somebody out that the other two maybe didn't really want to vote out, but they felt
Right.
pressured to vote them
Hmm.
out.
Yeah. And it was one episode, I can't remember this guy name, but it was in season two. The game is they were on the graveyard and in this, it was like a spotlight chasing them. What is that man name? I think I wrote it down. Virgie. Virgie is his name.
Hmm.
And no one wanted to listen to him. He looks, he appears kind of young, almost kind of like jock type. And he was like, I see the pattern, I see the pattern, I see the pattern. And they were like, oh, that pattern isn't working. And sure enough, Craig, when they started paying attention and listening and following his lead, they started winning the money in the little contest. So again, it's a person who we don't know. We may kind of dismiss them. Maybe he was dismissed because of his age. Maybe he was dismissed because he give off jock vibes. But sure enough, he was the genius out of the bunch. And they could have won another $50,000 if they listened to him. But they
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this a little bit also. I was saying, well, at the end of the day, it's just a game, right? But I think sort of the genius of the show is, um, or at least part of the genius of the show is that people try it. I see every season people try as hard as they can to just look at this as a game and not
Mhm.
get so emotional like, oh, you're friends with her, but you got to vote her out if you want to win the money, right? At some
Mhm.
point, everybody's got to stab each other in the back. Um, but I think you said again that it may be just a game, but in real life, it's not a game.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, because we use the again, prejudice is can be bad depending on how you use it, but it's also can be how we survive. So what I was saying is like we all kind of use that like if we're out in the public in the grocery store at the park with our family, all right, y'all, that person over there look sketchy. I don't know, that person look real sus. Come on, let's go. Let's take the kids on the other side, or let's go on the cereal aisle because it looks weird over here. We all do that in our lives. And so apply that here. I don't like how this person is talking. All of a sudden, you buddy buddy over here with contested number A, when last week you was buddy buddy with contested T. Something wrong with you. Why you
Hmm.
jumping the fence? What you trying to get into? What you trying to find out? So just all that kind of stuff, Craig. The stuff that we use every single day in our lives without us even knowing it. Like we're all private investigators and we don't even know it.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, I think as much as you try to control it,
Mm-hmm.
eventually it becomes uncontrollable. And at the end, there is a level of control, but there's also a level of luck to this game as well. You pressure's on at the round table, you're going to get voted out this week. Luckily, you didn't. You squeezed by, and maybe that was the vote that
Mm-hmm.
helped you survive and win in the end. So, um, it's kind of like life, right? Sometimes,
Exactly. Yeah. And,
yeah,
and and back to Deontay Wilder, I looked at him on the second episode. And for those who don't remember, I believe, didn't he walk away or leave
he
the show
he left.
voluntarily?
He left. Yeah, he quit.
Yeah. And he had such an emotional reaction to voting off that second person, and that person wasn't a traitor. And then what did I say about Phaedra? Here go her fake behind self. Oh, Deontay, it's okay. And I looked at her and I thought to myself, in the words of my granny, Phaedra ain't worth two dead flies. because she was wrong the way she was trying to console that man the whole time she a traitor. So, we gotta wise up and pay attention to our surroundings, and and we'll see that Traitors is just that's just real life, unfortunately. The workplace is cutthroat like that. Your coworkers trying to get at you and know who you are and then report your mess to what's them people? Human
Human
resource?
resources, yeah.
Yeah, every
Yeah,
day.
geez. It is a cool game and a cruel game um to watch and see the reflection of what happens on that show in the real world. Um,
Well, I don't want to talk too much about it, Craig, because see, I haven't watched all the season yet, and you're deep into the series, so I don't just keep in mind. The more we talk, I don't want you giving up spoilers, Craig.
okay. I won't spoil anything if I can prevent it.
Okay, because
Like
what is that movie package thing you do where you don't know what you're going to see?
screen unseen.
Screen unseen. Let the rest of the Trader season be my screen unseen.
I can't wait for you to see like the finale, like how the game actually plays out and finishes.
Because I have no idea who win. I don't even know what you got to do to win. I don't know none of that. I don't even think I'm like halfway. Might be halfway through the
Yeah.
first season. I mean, my first season of watching.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff.
Well, I think a good way maybe to wrap up this conversation about the traders, um, and comparing it to 15 Minutes of Murder. And I swear every week, Des, it's surprising to me that we're able to find something like the traders and compare it to 15 Minutes of Murder. And it's not even really a stretch. It's like it seems like
Nope.
a really natural comparison to make.
Yep.
And just sort of a more fun way of sort of looking at true crime and investigations and failed investigations and the way the whole system really kind of works, right?
I mean, because you even when we were talking about screen unseen, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were like, oh, there are clues. They give you ratings. They tell you how long the movie is. So all of the things around us is a real life investigation. We may just call it decision making or life skills or some mess like that. But no, baby, you a private investigator. You investigating. That's how you figure that out. You apply the process to that. That's how
Yeah.
you figure that out.
Well, we'll have to continue doing this. Hopefully people like it and have a good response. They have so far.
They gonna
So,
like it.
yeah, so I have to ask though before we close this out,
What?
if you were going to be on the show, would you want to be a traitor or would you want to be a faithful?
Oh, I'm a trader all day. I'm a
I,
trader all day.
if you were to ask me if I thought you would be a traitor or faithful, I would have guessed you as a traitor probably.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a trader. I'm definitely a trader. Yeah.
Um, I'm like on the
It
fence. I'm on the fence.
no. But see, I mean, I'm also the kind of person to where, and this is for real. This is really what I feel. Like in real life, if I was to meet Dr. Hannibal Lecter, you can't convince me that me and that man wouldn't be best friends. Like I love me a good villain. Like, yeah, he wouldn't eat me. That would be my homeboy. I'm convinced of that, Craig. So that's how I am. I just love the villains. I love that role. Um, it got more to it. It got a little bit more pizzazz to it, I feel.
And it helped, and you could live out that fantasy too, right?
Yeah.
That villain is like fantasy.
Yeah, and that's how I knew we gotta get rid of Phaedra before she get rid of us.
Well, eventually, this is a little bit of a spoiler. Eventually, the traders start to not like each other so much.
So the last episode, I saw that Phaedra kind of started cutting into folks.
Hmm
Um, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. So I
It's
can't wait
it's
to see the
great.
rest.
It's great.
Hmm I'm
I'm
almost
gonna.
mad at you though, Craig, because I told y'all that I am faithful to The Wire, The Sopranos, and Nick. That's all I want to watch. Give me my old 30-year-old shows, and here you come with a whole series of the Traitors.
You have lots to watch. If you end up really liking it by the end of this season that you're watching, you're gonna be hooked. You'll be hooked for sure. Um,
Okay, Mr. Television.
well, that's what we're doing here, right? Making TV.
Mhm.
So a couple things from Tanisha as she
Okay.
sits in the room. I gotta put my glasses down because I'm an old man. Um,
Mm,
she she said. That Des breaks everything down. Um, she would be a traitor for me and you would never know it, meaning
yep.
Tanisha, I guess. Um, and then she says, not because I'm sneaky, but because I see through everyone. I see you.
Yeah.
I think I could fall into either role, whatever I'm assigned.
No, I couldn't.
No.
That faithful stuff. And I also think, Craig, I think I'm too mouthy and I don't know. I don't feel I would just as we're talking about it, it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, let's do this. Let's take a poll from our audience.
Oh,
And I want to ask, I mainly want to ask them if they think we should all apply to be on the show because you'll see it later in other seasons and other seasons from other countries too. They will sometimes bring in people who know each other already. So like a mother and a daughter, a boyfriend and a girlfriend like wives or husbands or like people that are married sometimes end up in the show.
well, this season had Marcus Jordan. Let me tell you. You don't know about this tea? Let me tell you about this tea. So the season that I'm talking about had Marcus Jordan, who was Michael Jordan, the basketball player, his son.
Mm.
And that Larsa Pippen girl, she was married to Scottie Pippen, who played on the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan. And her and Marcus were dating. They so essentially that's Marcus dating his uncle's ex-wife, child. Craig, listen,
That's a lot of steps there.
that's a lot of steps. So but they were a couple on there and they were kissing and she was all sad and toe up that he got sent away and all
Mm.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm So
Well,
but can you imagine the three of us? I don't think screen time is enough, Craig.
I think it'd be hilarious. I don't think they've ever brought in like a threesome, like a throuple. That would be us, right?
Mm,
That would be awesome.
man, see, I might mess around and blow my cover because the first time somebody say something about you and T, I will be ready to jump so quick, Craig. They'll be like, security, Detroit is in here. Yeah, no, but it'll be fun.
Well, we'll have to ask Tanisha since she's the casting guru.
Okay.
And maybe we'll put in our application, but let us know if you're watching and put it in the comments if you think that we should be applying for this show and what you think each one of us roles would be in the show, traitors or faithfuls. Or share with us what you would love to be also. That'd be cool too.
hmm
Um, so do we have anything else to talk about tonight?
Oh, let me say this, y'all. Tonight is Alex's birthday. Well, today, not just the night. The whole day is my husband's birthday. So, happy birthday, Alex, husband, who I affectionately call my baby daddy. Happy birthday, sir. I'll see you in a minute. I'm taking him out to dinner when we wrap this.
I was just gonna ask, are y'all doing
Mhm.
anything special tonight?
Yeah, I'm taking him out to dinner tonight, and then I have to like do something with my schedule this weekend and have some fun time with him this weekend too.
What kind of food are y'all gonna get? Do you know yet?
Well, our go-to place is Applebee's. That is our,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know, our comfort place. And I think they got those good $6 muchos or something, some cut water muchos at that. I don't know if you know about that, Craig. You
The
might not.
drinks? Are they drinks? I know
Hmm.
Cutwater. I know what Cutwater is.
Yeah, Craig. Yep, yep. We're going to get some $6 mucho cut waters.
There you go. Some appetizers too. I think that's what we get every time we go to Applebee's.
Hmm.
Appetizers. So
So if I'm a little late in the group text tomorrow or non-responsive, you know what happened. Those cut waters is what happened, Craig.
yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Alex. Tanisha says happy birthday, Alex.
I'll
And
tell him.
let's wrap it up for the night, right?
All right. Yeah.
Cool.
So
So you go for it. Wrap us
no, I'm
out.
just going to say we will see our what I don't know if we are we dropping that episode this week or are we kind of still working.
So this Sunday coming up, I think it'll be dependent on Tanisha's
Okay.
recovery and where she's at.
Okay.
But if we do, we have part two to your part one.
Okay.
And what is
Yep.
that? What is it about?
Oh, I think that's the funny stuff that folks say to me as a private investigator, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
duh, I'm a private investigator. But even more than that, we got in our short 8 week span, we got a ton of content for our viewers to catch up on. Caddy, Colonial Parkway, um, Tara Calico, Dorothy Scott, all of those shorts. We got about 8 lives they could watch. So it's definitely enough 15 minutes of murder content on our channel to keep folks going and interested. But it's also fun to just see how we've grown in that short span also.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
for those of you who may be new and joining us for the first time, every Sunday, one Sunday we do an overview of a case. It sort of tells a brief, like a brief overview of the story, and then the following Sunday we do a deep dive where we get on and talk about it sort of more in depth. And we have 4 cases up, so you can check those
Mm-hmm.
out here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. It's super helpful for us. And if you want to find out just a little bit more about it, you can on our website, which is 15minutesofmurder.com.
Okay.
I think that's it.
All right, y'all.
Cool. All right. Feel better, Miss Tanisha. Thanks for joining us in the chat tonight.
Bye, T.
I'll see you later.
And bye, everybody else. And happy birthday, Alex. We'll see y'all later.
All right. Good night.
Bye.